Good morning. It's me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energy inside of ourselves. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in our actions, in our interactions with others, in our environment, etc. I am very sleepy. I don't know. I couldn't fall asleep, and then I woke up at 4. I can't. I can't get it together today. So I apologize if this reading is like a little bit sleepy because that's how I feel. And there's not enough coffee in the world, and my coffee's almost gone. All right, we're going to start with the Divine Masculine this morning because he had more cards showing. Divine Feminine was only showing one card. And I'm realizing that my mic is like not positioned properly. All right. Top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of the mind for divine masculine energy. Bright and early this morning is the Five of Pentacles. We were just looking at this card yesterday. It was the top of the deck, overall heart space for divine feminine, a feeling of being left out in the cold and lack and all that old stuff. And here it is, right out the gate for divine masculine. So he feels lack. His song today, there was a bunch of songs that wouldn't appear in Instagram when I was trying to post this morning because I do post that live. Not live. Well, sometimes I do a live shuffle, but a time lapse shuffle. Oh my God, I'm so tired today. I'm so sorry. I just did not sleep. I just didn't sleep. Okay. So the song for Divine Masculine today was I'm Gonna Be Strong. And it really kind of goes along with this card. I can see you're slipping away from me and you're so afraid that I'll plead with you to stay, but I'm going to be strong and let you go your way. Love is gone. There's no sense in holding on, and your pity now would be more than I could bear. But I'm going to be strong and pretend I don't care. I'm going to be strong and stand as tall as I can. I'm going to be strong and let you go along and take it like a man. When you say it's the end, I'll hand you a line. I'll smile and say, don't you worry, I'm fine, but you'll never know, darling, after you kiss me goodbye, how I'll break down and cry. So that song came up for him. And then Under the Gun by the Black Keys also played during the shuffle. So kind of like between both of them, that was the energy. And then Divine Feminine had the Pixie song Valoria at the end. So Divine Masculine starts off right in that Five of Pentacles energy. He's worried. He's that Divine Feminine is giving up and slipping away from him, that he's tortured her enough. And I hate this spread today. I almost didn't do the reading. I was just like, I'm so tired and I wish I hadn't. Okay. But I'm going to leave now and let Spirit do the reading. Bye. Okay. Anyway, so the Five of Pentacles is here because Divine Masculine doesn't really seem to be able to bring Divine Feminine in from the cold. It looks like, based on this current spread. This is what he's thinking, of course, in his headspace. And the niggling thing in the back of his mind is he really needs to break this silence. He's also really feeling a lot of grief that he's been working through because of this feeling of lack and not being able to bring divine feminine into his world. So we see him here having underlying all of his thoughts and decisions is just this urge to break the silence, to finally bring divine feminine into his world and reveal to her all the things that we know he thinks and feels every day. The first thing on his mind is the devil. So the devil for divine feminine was she was releasing this energy today, and divine masculine must have caught it for her. but he's thinking about it a lot because it's the very first thing on his mind. So there's, I think the sexual energy from divine feminine, or he's worried about sexual energy. He's worried about having to battle competitors. He's worried about you know what? Instead of looking at a spread where the divine feminine is concerned about third party energy, um, we're looking at it's like they've swapped. Now divine masculine is worried about it. So he's worried about this sexual energy. He's worried about divine feminine not speaking to him, keeping him in the cold, not telling him what's going on. He's obsessively thinking about this. He's watching her. It's like stalking energy. He hates the feeling. He doesn't like it at all. And he's pretty defeated by it. The next card up is the Five of Swords. So he feels really defeated. And like he has to fight for her and he can't. Um and this particular in the Housewives Tarot, this it's pattern, it's like cutting to size kind of a situation. Like he's feeling like in his in this worry he has and this concern about this sexual energy with regards to divine feminine, like if she's gonna basically if she's gonna be sleeping with other people, um he's feeling like she's maybe doing this to like cut him down to size because he's been so childish, because the next card up is this Page of Cups. So he's thinking of himself as, he's awkward and he doesn't really know how to express, and he's been too childish and he hasn't approached, and he's really not um he has true love, and he's very heart centered, because that's what is in this card, but he's just really not. I don't know, he's just feeling really frustrated with himself and immature. The next thing is this Page of Wands. I think he's also thinking divine feminine is being immature. And this Page of Wands, it's like a child who's like really excited about something, and but it's about like burgeoning sexual energy too. And so I really just see the divine masculine, because he's not heard anything from divine feminine, thinking that he's lost his victory. He's been defeated by an opponent. Here's the third party energy. So he's like, okay, well, so someone else has her attention, and I lost I've lost her to this. Which I'm going to tell you right now, for my divine masculine, is not fucking true. But whatever. That's what he's thinking about. Or maybe he's thinking this will happen eventually. If he doesn't bring her out of the cold, if he doesn't speak to her, this eventually is going to happen. And he's thinking a lot about it. And the top of the deck for the heart space for divine masculine is the Death card. So he's feeling like it's over. But this card is about transformation. When something ends, something new begins. But it's not about that. Divine masculine feels like it's over because the niggling feeling in his heart space is the Two of Cups. And it's the song that played for him. So he literally feels like it's over, and he's lost the potential to be able to have this physical union with divine feminine because of some kind of third party energy. And it is not his energy. It is truly his concern about divine feminine having third party energy. And the one card that is showing for her, the two cards that are showing for her, and the union, it's so frustrating. I don't even want to read anymore. All right, I'm using two new decks today that were gifts from my friend, who's one of my followers on Tune and Tarot, who came and took me out to the Huntington Library yesterday. We went to uh, Tribal Cafe. It was a really fun day, and she gave me these two decks, and they're really cool. So this one that I'm about to use, I got to look carefully at because I haven't used it before. And this is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot. And it's cool. I like the colors. All right, so the first card up that is clarifying this devil energy is the Knight of Swords in reverse. Oh gosh, we saw a lot of the Knight of Swords yesterday, like a lot. And it was on both sides. And Divine Masculine's Knight of Swords energy was in reverse yesterday too. So this is like not having clarity about what's going on. This is what's making him concerned. So there's silence, right, with the Four of Swords. He doesn't know what's going on with Divine Feminine. I hate to put it this way because I do not believe Divine Feminine has this intention at all. I do not feel this energy from her, but he's getting a taste of his own medicine. Because there's been some kind of a boundary established where Divine Feminine is like, okay, we're at this impasse. This is where I am. And if you want to come over here, you have to do this. And this is a basic thing that anybody would require. It is not crazy. And if you can't do that, that's chill. Then keep on your side of the line, and let me do my thing. And because Divine Masculine is not able to come to her in the way that he wants to, with this integrity and honesty and clarity, instead he has to sit in that devil energy, that like the loop thinking. And of course, he's terrorizing himself. That's why we're seeing the devil. We're not saying the devil because Divine Feminine has third party energy. She doesn't. And even if there was third party energy, it wouldn't matter in terms of the union. But regardless, it's Divine Masculine who is torturing himself. We just saw Divine Feminine doing this. It's kind of actually, I'm going to say, it's a positive sign, because we see Divine Masculine cycle through some of the stuff Divine Feminine cycles through. And right now I'm getting a lot of security from Divine Feminine energy in a lot of ways. And so Divine Masculine is moving towards that grounded, secure feeling. And he's processing the way it feels to experience silence and really not knowing what is going on, or not being able to trust yourself, because we were seeing that High Priestess card in reverse all the time for Divine Masculine, where he's having such a hard time trusting himself. The next thing in the heart space is the Six of Pentacles. And it is clarifying the Five of Swords. So this is the thing. Divine Masculine is going to feel defeated for as long as he does not reciprocate. But his heart is prepared to reciprocate. He wants to experience generosity and benevolence from Divine Feminine. He's longing for her to come back into that place where they were before, but at the same time understanding that he doesn't want to be with the past energy of her either. He is feeling the ability himself to be generous and benevolent, and he wants to reciprocate. But he feels defeated by the position that he's in. And he feels also like he's getting his reciprocation for like this feeling of Divine Feminine cut him down to size, the taste of his own medicine kind of thing, where he's realizing, shit, I guess that's what I was giving her, and now this is what I'm getting back. But that is enlightenment. That is enlightenment. And enlightenment makes you feel happy, really happy. So I do see Divine Feminine energy enlightened, and Divine Masculine energy enlightened and in union. And the inner child that didn't know how to express love, that was not in the light of like understanding a balance of like nurturing and protection. It was just all this distorted ideas, fantasies, um, things about love that just really, it was not true. And he's now starting to see the truth. There's illumination here. And the truth sets you free and makes you very happy. It brings a blissful feeling. The next card we have, oh wow. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm glad I did the reading now. The next card we have is the Seven of Cups in reverse. So we don't have a divine masculine who feels confused about what he's excited about or what he desires. We don't have him sitting there, not really knowing what to choose and feeling overwhelmed anymore. He is really achieved um, a sense of being able to choose which emotions he wants to give the most focus to. So he is basically thinking about what he wants, and he's working on the devil energy. He's freaked out right now, but he's understanding that the freak out is showing him where he still needs to have this illumination, right? Where he still needs enlightenment in this process of being able to achieve victory, which is his, I can't make it up, 10 of Cups. And there are multiple, for some reason in this deck, there are a few cards where the artist includes the early iteration of the card and the final manifestation of the card. And the 10 of Cups, I believe, is one of those cards. I just looked at this deck in its entirety last night when I charged it. I put it all in order and stuff. And I had noted that there were a number of cards that had two versions. Some, even there's like a black and white and one with color. And this one is one of them. And um, I was struck at the idea that there's two 10 of Cups. There's the ideation, the earliest iteration of the 10 of Cups. In these 7 cups, all the ideas and different things from the past that are put into the cups, and then you have to choose what it is. He's choosing, it's like his first love, however that applies. And this 3 of Cups energy in reverse that was in the headspace, this naivete or whatever, this is being clarified by the King of Pentacles. Now, this is interesting because right above it is enlightenment and happiness. And this King of Pentacles is a card when it's in its upright position and we're feeling it in its light traits. It's about being able to provide and protect and having material obligations. So there is the potential here that some in the collective have chosen to return to a past partner that potentially is not divine feminine. And they're doing this out of a sense of responsibility or to be able to provide and protect. For others, we see them choosing to go to their first love, their true love, their the one that they're connected to from the past. Woo, my ego was a little bit like, oh my God, I hope it's the second one. But also, if it's not, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't do nothing. Alrighty, I will survive. Okay, let us look at divine feminine side of the spread. I will survive, but you're going to have to pick me up off the floor. Oh my God. I'm going to take a long nap after this reading. Oh my God. Do not do a reading after like 4 fitful hours of sleep. I don't even know why I couldn't sleep. I think because it's hot and I can't sleep when it's hot. Okay, top of the deck, overall headspace for Divine Feminine is the Page of Wands. So we already saw this card, and we're going to just keep saying that a lot. I think it looks like in this reading, Jesus Christ. But anyway, so we already saw the Page of Wands for Divine Masculine in his headspace. So we've got union right out the gate here. And Divine Masculine is worried about Divine Feminine's Page of Wands energy, her burgeoning sexual energy, her exploration, her wanting to date. That's why the Page of Wands is over there for him. He's worried about that. And Divine Feminine is determined to have a beginner's mind in terms in a lot of ways in her life, not just in terms of dating or relationships, but when she thinks about what she wants to do with her career or with the project that she's working on, or where she wants to live, or how she wants to make the place where she lives look beautiful, or whatever her focus is, she's in a really beautiful state of exploration and like discovery and finding out about herself. And she's sorry, I keep getting like waves of energy that I think are shared energy, like collective energy, not just mine. It's distracting me. But while she is in this beginner's mind and she's wanting to start out and explore, this is consuming her mind because she is trying to embody this energy, but it's difficult because the niggling thing in the back of her mind is she doesn't want to walk away. There's so much emotion in this card, Jesus. She really doesn't want to walk away from the dreams she put in these cups. When you start exploring, you discover new territory. And she can see when she looks from this beginner's mind that these cups that had so much happiness in them for her, they carry so much poison. For instance, sitting here and enduring not knowing whether this divine masculine energy is going back to an ex or whether divine masculine energy is choosing to be with divine feminine. That state of anxiety is untenable, right? And it falls on both sides of the energy. It's not just, obviously, divine feminine is in this constant state thinking about divine masculine, and divine masculine is worried that he has to choose another way and that divine feminine will choose another way. It's like they're both doing this, right? Eternally. Even though those cups contain that poison and divine feminine feels that, she feels reluctant to walk away. But her mind is consumed with this awareness that she really does need to start fresh somewhere. Because she's been living in the same state as divine masculine. Because the first thing on divine feminine's mind is literally the last thing on divine masculine's mind. And also, it was the first thing on his mind, truly. Because it was basically the major arcana version of this. Three of Cups energy in reverse, third party energy. And you know what else? Way too fucking serious, man. Ugh. I don't even want to read this. Come on. Can't I just like wake up and have like gumdrops and lollipops for breakfast. For two energies that so want to come together, I have never seen so much focus on the ways that they can't. You all are worried about the same problem for the same reason, and it's torture. Divine Feminine just doesn't feel strong enough to face these challenges anymore. She just doesn't feel strong enough to deal with the anxiety of not knowing. And she's trying to release this fixation on third party energy and being too serious and not having fun and feeling unhappy about that. And she's still dealing with those issues of that strength in reverse. So the ego and pride, feeling challenged, feeling too weak to face that. And then look at another card of union. Death. So Divine Feminine wants transformation. She wants the feelings that come from the thoughts she has about the blockages that prevent her from reuniting with this iteration that she doesn't want to walk away from. She wants that to be over. And the next thing on her mind is a beautiful culmination from the Three of Cups to the Four of Cups. So from the shadow of the Three of Cups, which is this fixation on outside energy, into the grounding of the Four of Cups. And being in nature, being able to meditate and contemplate and feel that you have the potential to reach out and grab that fourth cup. But she wants this pause where nothing is happening and everything is trapped in this dream space to be over. That's what she wants to be over. She doesn't want this relationship to be over. She wants this pause to be over. And the next thing on her mind is the Empress in reverse. And this is what is clarifying this Strength card in reverse. So she's we've been dealing so much with this Empress in reverse energy, this distorted feminine energy where she's too protective, she's too she's over nurturing. I think she's feeling like she's too demanding. She's just not feeling good about herself at the moment. And she's seeking clarity, this Ace of Swords, in regards to this ending. She's trying to be honest with herself about needing to end this toxicity and walk away and start something new and start something fresh and explore other options. But she doesn't feel strong enough to do it at the moment. And so she's trying to seek clarity about how to proceed. The top of the deck, overall feeling of the heart space, is the Four of Cups in reverse. So we already looked at the Four of Cups here. It was kind of the only grounding element in the headspace. Everything else was pretty tumultuous. So she's really relying on this centering. She has the ability to do this meditation or being in nature or connecting with the divine in some way. This is the only thing that's helping her hold down the fort in her headspace at the moment. And it's very effective. It is very grounding. But the heart space wants this pause to be over. That's why we're seeing the death card preceding the Four of Cups, ending the pause, ending the dream and coming out of the dream. This is just, her heart is filled with this desire. And the niggling thing in the heart space, the niggling feeling is that a choice has been made. Here's the Two of Cups. I'm sorry, the Two of Swords, or Two of Voices in the Muse tarot. It's in reverse. So the standstill, she wants, the feeling in her heart space is she wants the pause to end, and she wants the standstill to be over. She can't endure it anymore. She just very honestly and truly cannot endure it anymore. The feeling of this next card, I have never felt this card so strongly before. I've been feeling this card since I started the reading. It is the 10 of Wands, and she just wants to put this down. She wants to put down the burden of carrying the work, of releasing the fixation on the third party energy. She wants to release the blockage in her life. And when she admits to herself what the blockage is, she doesn't like it. It's the feeling of understanding that the third party energy that she has to drop is the one that puts her into this state where she's afraid, causes her anxious attachment. And that's the next card, the Devil. And it's clarifying her strength. And it's also the first thing on Divine Masculine's mind. And Divine Feminine is just really not feeling strong enough to face off this burden of this devil energy, of this blockage, of this fixation, obsession, addiction, sexual energy. And then we're getting the Wheel of Fortune, but it's in reverse and it's clarifying death. So this is a clear signal to me that something is not over. This wheel has not yet shifted. Fate is still at work, and Divine Feminine is resisting her fate by refusing to walk away from this anxious attachment. This Four of Cups is being clarified by this Nine of Wands upright. So these are both cards that have to do with being paused for sure. One is in isolation from others, healing wounds from a pretty serious battle. And there's a feeling here that what she has to heal is sort of the fantasies, the dreams. She has to kind of basically heal the wounds that caused her to stay in this dream state, stay in this fantasy, because of her fears about what would happen if she truly allowed herself to be fully vulnerable. And the Empress, just like the Divine Masculine spread, which just, we're getting this hard energy, and then all of a sudden we hit that 10 of Cups. Well, the same thing is happening for Divine Feminine. We're really struggling, and then bam, we have the 10 of Pentacles here, clarifying this Empress in reverse energy. So it's like Divine Feminine is healing this overprotective energy. She's healing the wounds that cause her to push away her 10 of Pentacles by being too demanding or by being overly nurturing or protective or hovering or whatever it is that divine feminine does, that she's been addicted to doing in this devil energy because of her fears and anxieties about losing this person, or about not knowing what is going on with this person or thing or job or whatever this is. But the heart space is showing her that she has this capacity and potential here for this material happiness once she releases this these fears and anxieties, and at the heart of it is releasing this anxious attachment. And here is the Ace of Swords, and it is clarifying the World card in reverse. So it is, it's also above the Wheel of Fortune and the Death card. So there's a whole lot of like, it's not quite over, right? There's a change that's being resisted, which is causing the completion to be delayed and halted. And divine feminine needs to be honest with herself and look at the situation and see where she is guilty of halting this progress, because she is afraid to release a specific iteration or outcome. She's stuck on outcomes and she's afraid, really afraid to release it. They're just feeding each other. They're feeding each other's fears. And it's like unintentional. And it's because of that Wheel of Fortune that is in its reverse. It's like there's this divine timing and there's this thing, there's these lessons to be learned. Divine feminine is like, I want to choose my twin so badly. So badly. But everything seems to be telling me to detach from that. And then the divine masculine just wants to be with divine feminine so badly, but there's something that prevents him from going forward. And they're just at this constant impasse here. So there has to be a change. Either one has to relinquish the other, or one must make a move. And there's just no other options at this point. And divine feminine, who always takes the energetic lead in terms of healing, is frustrated with the responsibility of having to be the one to do it. She's like, why can't it be that this divine masculine makes this move? Why does it have to be that I have to let go? That's a really strong feeling from her. Let's go look at the oracles. All right. So I decided, I got 2 decks yesterday, and one of the decks I got was the Sluttist deck. And it is a deck I am enjoying very much, and I'm going to use it as sort of a sense for me of the sexual energy. And sexual energy, obviously, now there's those of us that are here for relationship reading or however love readings, but there are those of us that are not. So sexual energy is creative energy. It's not just the, sexy fun times. It's creation energy. It's like Kundalini energy, the power that comes from the divine and animates us and inspires us. And so I'm gonna do, when I do the oracles, I think I'm gonna pull a card to just see what the state of the sexual energy is. So divine masculine is getting the 4 of Cups in reverse. And we already saw that today. So divine masculine, the sexual energy that I'm feeling for you is there's actually kind of a fear here of coming out of fantasy. There's wanting the fantasy to be as good as, or wanting the reality to be as good as the fantasy, and being a little bit afraid and intimidated about the process of coming out of the dream space in regards to this, but anticipating it looking forward to it, but just having a bit of hesitation to a certain extent about one's own performance. I'm feeling from that card. The you are currently in the light attributes of the Hermit. So you are seeking solitude to focus intently on inner life, and you are serving this personal creativity. And that's kind of interesting because your sexual energy is urging you out of solitude. And there's a fear here that's I felt when we looked at the sexual energy. And so the reaction to the fear is being in hermit energy and serving your own personal creativity when there's actually an urge on your part with this 10 of Cups energy to serve the creativity of the union. But you're not in the shadow attributes having withdrawn out of fear or negative judgments. It's just that your sexual energy is kind of in opposition to your current archetype. And there's probably a feeling of push pull there, consequently. You're getting this card from St. Christopher's is your guardian here in terms of travel. And this came up for the union yesterday, and now it's just on your side. And I'm feeling a strong sense of movement, that it's time for you to move. It is time for you to travel. You have been stopping yourself, and you're here and you're safe and you're protected. You're literally carried on the back of the saint when you go forward. So you're being just reassured in your ability to be able to make this movement. And you're getting empowerment here. And this feels like a strong divine feminine energy. And it's so interesting because it looks like she has a mask on when the card is away from the light. And I just always think of that. I wouldn't probably have thought of that if it wasn't having lived surviving the pandemic, but I just am noting that. But there is empowerment here. This divine feminine, you are feeling this empowerment of your own internal divine feminine energy. So the ability to trust in your psychic powers, your sensitivity, your intuition, your fertility, your creativity. You in that light attributes of the hermit, where you are currently focusing intently on your inner life, it is empowering you. It is empowering this personal creativity. Be bold and make the first move. I'm not even going to talk about it. And then this next card is play. And it's a 3 of Cups energy for me when I get this card, because it's like, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. But I'm also struck at how similar the imagery is to this 4 of Cups for divine feminine. So it's even more. And look at this image of these two. This is who composes the 4th cup in this card. The twin souls, the two aspects of self, the balanced sides of self meeting, compose the 4th cup that contains the. I can't make this shit up. I can't. Just don't be so serious. Just celebrate. You are birthing a new age. You have that empowerment energy that was kind of like Empress energy. So you are birthing a new age, and it's painful and it's messy. But when they hand you the baby, you're ready to have another one. You forgot about the pain already. You can't even remember. You're getting beaver spirit. Lay a solid foundation. I'm always like, really? Really, Colette? Did you think that we were ever going to look at that card and just think of just think of beaver spirit? Beaver spirit is here to tell you about a power living within you that is born of spirit, the source from which all life arises. I just feel like if RuPaul read this, I would feel very dirty. You know what I mean? This is the power to establish the sacred connection with the universal consciousness so you can deliberately co-create the world you desire. Know that it takes work, determination, and sustained effort to co create and lay a solid foundation for your dreams. If with spirit as your partner, you bring the twigs and branches of your intentions and desires and spread them across the river of time, you'll be amazed at what you can do. You'll find that you can even change the direction of the flow of life. You can ensure that your world will be prosperous and purposeful, filled with love and joy, and rich with magic and meaning. That which you desire will come to you and remain sustainably if you build on a sturdy foundation. Keep your intention and energy consistent and deliberate, using all your resources and the energy of this wonderful, productive time. Have faith, for with spirit to co create with you, your success is assured. Spirit is your partner, helping you along as you change the course of your life in the way your heart desires. That's a beautiful message. It's also six, which is the lover's energy, reciprocity. You got the Six of Wands, the Six of Pentacles. I love that you're ready to choose your spiritual fulfillment. All right, Divine Feminine, let's look at your oracles. You are in the light attributes of the guide, representing the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. So you have released any of the shadow attributes, which is placing financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. I had such a lovely experience yesterday, and I realized that every lovely gift I received, which was communication in person with a new friend and a ride to my favorite place to eat and the really wonderful, like, loving food preparation of that restaurant. And then being able to be in nature, which is something that I had been asking for, and I received it. And then receiving tarot cards and someone's time and someone's attention and words of affirmation. And every single thing that I just described, including my compassion fruit donut from Donut Friend and the free donut holes they gave us, just because the lovely person working there said that that both of us seemed so lovely and that we had just great energy, and then they just gave us free stuff. We left and we got in the car and drove home, and I am acutely aware that I didn't have to spend a single cent yesterday of my own abundance, but that I have been giving freely of my time and love and compassion and healing for months now, because I want to, not because I feel obligated to. And so I received the return for that abundance. If I had been placing financial gain and control over imparting the spiritual insight that I engaged in yesterday, or that I engage in every day, I wouldn't have had any of those experiences. So, or they just would have been a whole lot different. So, good job. Oh my gosh, Divine Feminine, I missed your sexual energy card. But I love your sexual energy card so much. All right. So since I'm pretty sure that this deck uses page, and let me just check before I read the energy of this card. I think it is page energy, but I want to double check. Look how cool. And it's like full color. It's so good. This was a really fun gift. Please tell me why. All right, I think there is night. Okay. Oh, and there's page. That's the wrong book. I'm silly. I was looking in the wrong book because I didn't sleep. And actually, I don't have a book for this one, so we're just going to have to go with page energy because that's what I thought it was. So, the sexual energy for Divine Feminine is Prince of Swords or Page of Swords energy. I love this card. So we're seeing that same kind of willingness for exploration. You've got the same kind of like willingness to kind of get in there and experience, have new experiences, or experience the kind of love, the kind of sexual energy that you have not experienced before, the type of creativity that you've not allowed yourself to engage in before, something like that. So that is where your creative and sexual energy is. And then we saw your guide energy, and then your guardian is Mother Mary again. We went on about her yesterday. So if you missed the opportunity to kind of get a deeper feeling for Mary, I think I talked more about her yesterday, but she's here again. Just her presence here, just the most supportive and the most loving and the most nurturing, and really countering that distorted feminine feeling and fear you have in your heart space of the Empress in reverse. The balm for that wound is Mary. So if you are open to having a devotion to Mary and saying rosary, or listening to the rosary, or listening to hymns about Mary, Mary what is, if you're afraid of Christian iconography, I get it. There's a lot of long-term damage that comes from misinterpretation of Christian beliefs, but in the Catholic Church, Mary is the embodiment of the divine feminine. She's the queen of heaven. She's represented as a goddess being born from the waves with a crown of stars. Like, she is Regina. She's salvation. She's the vessel through which the salvation of the world comes. There is mysticism and divinity in Mary. She's not just Jesus's mom, and then, just, I mean, she's virtually ignored by non-Catholics for the most part. She shows up at Christmas and, that's it. But Mary was a lot more important than that in the Bible and in the Catholic Church. And she is really just the divine mother energy. So that is your guardian right now. And you're also getting this peace, which you said you really liked yesterday in your song. I like the peace in the backseat, right? You really need this, because I do see you feeling very, very tired and very burdened and very ready to receive this grace and receive this peace from the Holy Spirit. Remember that nothing is yet set in stone. Things are always changing, and you got to stop resisting the change. When you release a specific iteration, nothing is set in stone after that point, right? It doesn't mean one thing or another. It means that you are saying to the divine, I have worthiness at this level, and this individual doesn't match me right now. And either this individual will match me and we will be able to connect, or another individual of the same or greater connection and matching capabilities will come into my world, period. Your hard work is paying off. So this feeling of this 10 of wands and this 9 of wands and this regressive feeling of just wanting to like isolate and just put down this burden and not do this anymore, all that, just keep pushing. You're in that, you're so close. Like, your body is about to release this creation. Unbound. Wow. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. You are not bound to this individual on the earthly plane. If you have a soul connection with an individual, it does not bind you to experiencing them on the earthly plane. You have many opportunities to do that. So do not feel that you are bound. You are not bound to one iteration or one permutation. The conversation I had yesterday was, I feel an obligation to come into union with my twin because I'm literally leading a twin flame collective. Well, I feel that's a very heavy responsibility because the amount of time and healing and energy it takes, the toxicity, the anxiety, the the feeling of the journey, which I must understand in order to read for it, is a heavy burden. And this card is here to remind me that I am not bound to complete my journey on the earthly plane in this lifetime. I can choose, because of free will, to complete my journey at any point in time. And I don't have to honor any soul patterns, contracts, or past lives that I don't choose to honor. You're getting this card. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. I just did this yesterday, and we got Four of Cups. One, two, three, four times. Four times. Four times. Four times. We're grounding. It's uncomfortable. It hurts. It hurts to bring the idea of that baby that was growing inside of you. It hurts to get that out because it's a way bigger idea than the path through which it's going to take. So it's taken effort, but it's happening. You're getting grounded. And if you are lost in space there, if you're lost up in that dream space, in that fantasy world, it's time to get grounded. I'm also seeing the Tower in reverse, which we saw the Tower in reverse this week in Gray Strega's readings, which you'll be able to catch with me tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. Every Sunday, I read with Gray Strega. She takes Divine Masculine or Divine Feminine, and I take the opposite energy. We read for about 30 minutes, and then we answer any personal questions you have and pull cards for you. So if you would like a chance to get two powerful readers, pull cards for you, join us tomorrow um, on Instagram Live. But she, in her readings, she pulls one card every day for 6 days of the week. Well, I guess she does 5 days of the week, and then we do the reading on Sunday. And in her one card readings, she kind of helps us trace the energy through the week. It sort of gives us a centering energy even before I come to tap into the collective energy. And she got the Tower in reverse this week. We talked about it at length. And she spoke about it again yesterday when she pulled the card, which was honestly the Wheel of Fortune upright. And I did have a great, very fortunate day yesterday. So that energy really tracked for me. But when she talked about the energy of this Tower card in reverse, she talked about how this could be a deep triggering that's taking place, something very deep within us that has been surfaced, that we have been shown through the process that we're going through. This can also be a card about resisting releasing. And the card says, what do you need to release? So there is a deep wound inside of you that is holding tightly to a specific iteration of the divine masculine who matches this wound. Right now, he is a perfect match to this wound. This wound is remaining hidden, being secret, um, not experiencing reciprocal affection, um, not knowing if you're loved and desired, or never being certain about the other person's feelings. It is most likely that you had some kind of a parenting figure who kept you on your toes. You may have had to walk on eggshells around this person. You were never certain that you could command a consistent, loving, caring, compassionate state from them. It was probably dependent on your performance as an individual, how you treated them, how you focused on them. Maybe they were in alignment with you only when you had shared interests, and when you weren't, it was like you didn't even exist. But you developed fears and anxieties in your love relationships, and that was normalized. It became very normal that the person who you're supposed to see as a source of consistent love and support, the mother energy, most likely, since we're seeing Mary, we're seeing the divine feminine instead of the disordered feminine coming out as your guardian. That confusing relationship you had with a maternal energy has become this very deep wound that is causing you to hold on to someone who is triggering this deep wound to show you this falsehood. You learned that in order to love, you must be perfect, that who you love must be perfect, and that you must love perfectly. And if you don't, no one will love you. It's a very difficult wound. And it makes sense that it's hard to release the person who keeps telling you that the way that you were raised was normal, because if you admit that it wasn't, that's a very hard truth, because you deserved it. You deserved to be loved consistently without having to be perfect, without earning it, without having to perform. Just be yourself. When you were born, you were perfect, because perfect is just who you are as a whole, authentic being. You didn't have to look perfect. You didn't have to have perfect IQ. You were perfect the way that you were. And then you learned that you weren't. And the best relationships reminded you of the truth, which is that your authentic self is worth loving. And the worst relationships reminded you of the lie, which is that you needed to be something else to be loved, but you don't. The final spirit that you're getting is Hawk Spirit, and it is let spirit be your guide. We keep getting Hawk Spirit. I'm going to read it because we keep getting it, and so it must mean we really need this message. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details, observes the rain and the pond as well as the cloud, and doesn't miss anything. When Hawk Spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from Spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences. Hawk Spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that Spirit is sending to guide you. Lately, have you been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in the strangest places? Perhaps you hear a song on the radio with just the right lyric pertaining to your query, or you begin to notice uncanny billboards, license plates, or other places where repetitive numbers or words show up for you to notice. Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to communicate and reaches out again and again. When Hawk Spirit appears, it is a sign to listen. All right, I just said we keep getting this card and we should read it. And this the whole card is like, when you keep seeing a sign, you should pay attention. So listen. Right now, you need to listen. You need to listen to my messages. You need to listen to her heart. You need to listen to signs and synchronicities and messages you're receiving, and let Spirit guide you. And Spirit is guiding you to ground this energy. All right. The overall sexual energy of the union. This deck is so great. Is Temperance in reverse. So this is so interesting. The Temperance card has got Archangel energy on it. Um, and this is a fabulous version of the Archangel energy. And the Temperance card is a card about this balancing of the energy that takes place on behalf of um, the individual as one co-creates with spirit. And to not be in temperance is to be in a situation where you have probably like too much passion and too much desire and not enough of like grounding elements, and so there is this imbalanced feeling here in the sexual energy. And I think what it is the withholding of physical union. So by not coming forward, divine masculine is withholding sexual union. Divine feminine is ready and open to receive sexual union, and divine masculine is not doing the creative work to bring sexual union into fulfillment. So there's an imbalance here between the two energies. In order for there to be a balance, there needs to be divine intervention, because divine masculine, his Knight of Swords is still in reverse. He's just not willing to come in his integrity. So the divine is going to have to intervene in terms of the sexual energy. In order for the union to come together, there's got to be a tower. And it's just frustrating because it's like there doesn't have to be. If you take this card today and you shift into co-creation with spirit and you listen to the messages that you're receiving, there doesn't have to be divine intervention. But if there's a refusal here to come into physical union because of these fears of physical intimacy, because of being worried about not being good enough, but not meeting this fantasy that divine feminine has, you're gonna get a tower. The union is in the light traits of the Messiah, which is serving humanity with humility. There's no more exaggerated belief that you're the only means through which a cause can succeed. So you are basically just like this right now. Okay, God, tell me what to do. I'll do it, and I'll receive whatever it is you have for me in return. There's just humility and a willingness to just serve. And it applies like on the macro scale, and it's also just between the two of you. You are just wanting to serve one another's needs with humility at this point, and not believe that either one of you is the one who knows the way to do this, but just, I want to be with you, I love you, tell me how I can show up for you, and I'll do it. Your financial health card has a reversal, but I don't feel it's because of a lack of financial health. I think it's a call to be very prepared for the amount of financial health you're about to receive. The injections you're getting, like, I mean, I got a pretty modest sum that is on its way to me. And that was the largest sum I've ever received, like at once. That's just like, here you go. You can decide exactly what you want to do with this. So this feeling of this is just the start. It's just the beginning. There also could be a call here to, because you are starting to have larger and larger sums come to you, you need to be more intentional about your wealth. I'm enjoying the feeling of having enough so much that I'm resisting paying bills a little bit, because it's like, I like the feeling of what's in there. And so I'm seeing how that old lack mentality is still a little bit in there. That's like, oh, but right now the balance looks like this, and you're gonna pay from it. It won't look like that. And it's like, but it will. It's just gonna keep getting bigger. It's not gonna get smaller. It's gonna get bigger, right? So kind of dealing a little bit with those old little residual fears, you know. Then we're getting your dreams need a practical plan, which came out yesterday. And this is a Four of Cups card in reverse, people. If y'all stay in the dream space and y'all don't make a practical plan for y'all's dreams, y'all are just going to be in fantasy for the rest of eternity. And I don't want to be in fantasy realm for the rest of eternity, okay? I've been in fantasy for 21 fucking years, because my fantasy started in 1999 when I was fucking 18 years old. And I thought it was pretty great. And it's 20 years later. And I'm like, girl, are you gonna stay in a fantasy world? Or are you gonna actually ground yourself in this union by being able to detach from outcome, by feeling secure because you're not driving the chariot like in the reading yesterday, by focusing on your own fulfillment, and by honoring your heart's desires as much as you possibly can without causing harm to another. And at harm none, do as ye will. And at harm none, do as ye will. Can we just obliterate most of the laws with that one and just be like, and at harm none, do as ye will? And then have very smart people who have the analysis of the harm part. I don't know. It just seems like a better idea. Because why do we fucking care so much about what people are doing if they're not hurting anyone? How does my sexuality hurt you? How does my fat body hurt you? How does I'm confused. I'm confused. Anyway, you both are getting this mirror energy in reverse. Who or what is triggering you? You're mirroring each other. Did you see the spread today? Were you here? Did you participate? Were you listening? Did you fucking see the goddamn cards? The mirrored goddamn union that's in this goddamn spread? The fact that we could be looking at this could be fucking divine feminine on this side from the other day. And this could be divine masculine on this side from yesterday. I can't. Thank you, divine masculine, for showing me what an idiot I can be. Because it's true. I can be an idiot. I'm allowed. It's fine. Everybody gets to be an idiot about their dreams. But I don't want to be that way anymore. I don't want to cry over my dreams and be like, I'll never have them. But the good news is nothing is wasted, okay? Nothing is wasted. The time you spend mirroring each other, the hours you spend worrying, creating the things you don't want by focusing very intently upon them. It wasn't wasted time. It wasn't, because it is the journey. And I know you're sick of hearing it. I'm sick of fucking saying it. I'm sick of fucking saying it. I'm sick of fucking thinking about it. But it's the goddamn motherfucking journey. And I'll keep coming back here every day. And you're lucky. You don't have to. You can if you want. But I'll keep coming back here every day. And I'll keep reminding myself, because I know the story of the parting of the Red Sea. And I know that, like, literally 1 week after the parting of the Red Sea, all those fucking people were like, bitch, what the hell does Moses know? His ass went up on the mountain and left us here. We don't know anything. We need a golden calf. We don't. That Yahweh dude, who the fuck is that guy? We don't know him. And there was definitely one person in the crowd that was like, I mean, but he parted the Red Sea. And they're like, shut up. We don't even know if that was him. That could have been the golden calf. We were praying hard too. So I know that I need to come here every day and remind myself about the parting of the Red Sea. And who is responsible for that, right? Moses' ability to believe in the power of that co-creator. That's it. Because none of those people that walked through that Red Sea had the power to hold the space like that. But Moses saw God in a bush. If I saw God in a bush, I would probably be like, okay, I mean, he's burning there in the bush and it's not burning shit. I don't know. There's something weird going on. That's easier for me to believe. But I'm sure he thought he was crazy. Come on. So I come here every day to remind myself of this stuff, because even though it's the same messages again and again, it's the same messages you have to hear. That's why you go to church on Sunday. That's why you read all the same passages of the Bible. That's why you repeat mantras. That's why We are creatures of habit and repetition. I don't know why, but that is what we are. And so you just kind of keep doing the work. And the truth is, you're going to get over this, whatever hurdle this is, you're going to get over that hurdle. And you're going to be like, yes, I made it. And you're going to retain all of the things that I'm giving to you and that you're getting from all the other things that you're reading and listening to and your own readings and all these things. You're going to retain all these things for sure. So every time you're going to get better and better and better. Your manifestations are going to come quicker and quicker and quicker. You're going to have less Sturm und Drang, you know. And then eventually there will be this balance where you'll probably find yourself not even actually having a lot of desires. It'll just be more sort of everything will sort of seem to fulfill your desire. Every experiences you didn't even, put out there. I want this to happen. You just become so present that you're not constantly thinking about what you want. Instead, you're constantly experiencing what you have desired before. And your new desires are more about the continuation of that feeling of balance. And you tend less and less to want to cater to those old wounds that were trying to confirm a reality that made you feel alive. Let's close out this reading with energy from the Island Time Wellness Oracle for what we really should do today to help us pivot and shift this energy today. Divine Masculine, you are getting reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, and make memories. There's just this camera. And then we're getting this card, which is lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. So, Divine Masculine, starting today, you need to drastically transform how you engage with this divine feminine energy, this physical union. The way that you choose to interact with divine feminine is something that is coming from the past. And you know what? It's a camera and lightning. It's like literally fucking, I saw lightning on Instagram. Like, I can't. Anyway, but today, you must not pass go. You must not collect $200. You must go directly to your telephone and not engage in the behaviors that you've been engaging in, which is this focus on the past, and instead do suddenly something drastically different. Experience an epiphany here, an upheaval, a transformation. Do not engage how you have been engaging. And then I can't make this up either. Divine Feminine, you're getting heart with a key and the runner. You're getting welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together, and perfect. And then you're getting runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, and listening to the ego. And the bottom of the deck is the chaser. So, Divine Feminine, the commandment on this card, because I'm asking these cards what you need to do today, and the commandment of this card says open your heart. And since it's heart with a key, that means that there's key information here for you. And the key information is this runner in a codependent relationship has a fear of intimacy and is listening to the ego. And you're like, yeah, he does. He does have a fear of intimacy. He is listening to the ego. Who's running now? You are. You're running. And you're like, no, I'm not. But you're not chasing right now, are you? So if you're not chasing, you're not running, what are you doing? Okay, well, I'll just leave that question there for you. But I would guess that for you to open your heart today and stop running from your fear of intimacy and stop listening to the ego, which you want to try to deny you're doing. But girl, you got all self-righteous yesterday because you're like, I'm not afraid of anything. Divine Masculine got 9 of swords and I didn't get 9 of swords. Na 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 na. Well, guess what? No more running. Go listen to that awesome song by oh my god, Merriweather Post Pavilion, Animal Collective. No more running. Because the chaser in a codependent relationship has fear of abandonment issues, right? We'll put that over here on the divine masculine side. And then we'll look at the bottom of the deck, which is what? Stability and passion. So, divine masculine, if you stop engaging the way that you've been engaging, if you stop chasing divine feminine because of your abandonment issues via Instagram, that's what I'm fucking saying there. And divine feminine, if you open your heart and you stop running from this divine masculine who is trying to express intimacy to you, but obviously not in a way in which he has this follow through. If you can stop listening to your ego and your fears, welcome love, open your heart, allow that energy to come to you. You're going to create the stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility you need to move out of the anxious attachment and avoidant attachment cycling patterns. I actually think what we have here is complex attachment because you both have anxiety. You switch back and forth from runner chaser. You switch from avoiding to being anxious, and so I think you have complex attachment, both of you. And when you heal this, you're looking at stability, insane chemistry, liking each other equally, and having a good fucking time. Do you want to have a good fucking time? I had a good fucking time yesterday. And I want to have a good fucking time with my divine masculine. So I would love to not run. I would love to not have a fear of intimacy. I'm annoyed that I'm looking at that. So annoyed about that because I don't think I do. But I must. All right. I hope that this helped you. I apologize for my very strange state that I'm in, but again, bed at like I don't know, sometime after midnight when I finally fell asleep, and then it was like, oh cool, it's 4 a.m, and I'm wide awake, and I guess I'll try to go back to sleep, and then I didn't go back to sleep, so I'm gonna try to go back to sleep now because I'm freaking so exhausted. But first, let me just remind you to join me tomorrow on Instagram Live at 12 p.m. Pacific and 3 p.m. EST with Grace Draga, who, if you do not follow, please go follow Grace Draga. Let me also sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank Cheryl so much for the lovely day that I had yesterday, for the new decks that I have. If you want to send me new decks to support me and my tarot reading practice, I guess we'll call it. There is a description box below. You can click there. There's links to send me cards from this list of cards I'm calling in, which I think I need to adjust because I do have the tattoo tarot now. And there's also a link to Patreon, which incidentally, today is the 1st of May. Happy May, happy Beltane, everybody. I'm going to have a nice little virtual phone call later with my coven sister to celebrate. But for my Patreon subscribers at the $3 level and above, you have access today to the monthly check-in for May. It was a good one. There was a lot of messages that repeated across this reading and the one from yesterday. So it does seem to be very relevant energy for the month. There was advice, and it's not a love reading at all. It is each different position of a 7 card spread. So it's like survival, money, relationships, how you show up in the world, healing past wounds. It's pretty comprehensive. So check that out if you are interested. That is available for Patreon subscribers. Thank you so very much. I hope that you do have a lovely day today. Take care and stay tuned in.